Now let's go and create our layout. So let's go inside our resources, JS and layout. In here, I will create a new file with the name of dashboard layout.js and inside here, let's import React first. Import React from React, and after that, let's import our sidebar also. So let's import sidebar from sidebar, and finally, let's create our default function by typing export default function and give it a name as dashboard layout, and we will also accept children as a parameter. So let's type here children. Then inside here, let's return our layout. So let's create a div with the class name of flex, and let's import our sidebar. Then after that, let's create a main section. So let's type main and give it a class name of flex the one. After that, let's create a header also. So let's type header. Let's type call this top header and give it a class name of bg white for white background. Give him a shadow as well and type p4. And finally, for our content, we will create a section so we can add our children in here. So section with the class name of P4, and finally in here we will call our children. So let's type children. So our dashboard is ready. Now let's use this dashboard inside our students and teachers. First we will call it as a composition layout. So in the students we will call it as a composition layout. So for that, first of all, let's delete the sidebar from here. That first div also just keep the main and import our layout, import dashboard layout, and let's warp all inside our dashboard layout. So dashboard layout. Let's add this and like this. Now let's go to browser and refresh. Let's go to students. Now our layout is ready. In here we can see our top bar and also our sidebar here. But remember that we have used it as a composition layout. Now let's go to our teacher and call our layout as a persistent layout. So let's go to our teacher.js. First of all, let's import our dashboard. So let's type import dashboard layout, and let's delete this first div, the sidebar from here. Then instead of exporting default, in here we will just call that function and we will export it at the end. So in here we will call export default, then our function name, which is teachers. But before this, in here we have to add our layout. So for that, we will type teachers dot layout is equal to function, function, and we will pass our page as a parameter. Then we will say return dashboard layout, and we will pass our children as our page as a children. So let's save this also. Let's delete this one. It's the sidebar. We don't need it. Now let's save everything. Let's go back to browser. Let's click the teachers. Now our teacher is also using our layout. Both of them are using our layout, but the students are using it as a composition layout, and the teacher is using it as a persistent layout. You can do it any way you want. One more thing you can do in here, like instead of writing it like this, you can write it as an arrow function as well by typing teachers dot layout is equal to page and arrow, then our dashboard layout, and finally the page as written in the documentation. So let's go back, refresh, click students, teachers. As you guys can see, both of them working perfectly. Now let's see both these layouts in action visually. So let's go to our dashboard layout and the top bar. Let's show that timestamp. So let's import use state first of all. So let's use state and create a variable cons mounted at is equal to use state and new date dot to local time string. Now let's call this in the top bar mounted at and the date and time. So mounted at. Let's save. Let's go to browser. n- Refresh. Now in our teachers, we are using persistent layout. So when I click it again, the date time, the first time it's mounted, the date time will change. But if I click again, nothing will change. So let's click again and again. As you guys can see, the time has not changed, but let's see what will happen when I click the student. So student, it changed the first time, click again, it changed again. The more I click it, the time will change because composition layout remounts every time the page loads, but the persistent layout does not change it because it only mounts the first time. So when I click again, nothing happens, only my content will change, but the main layout, which is sidebar, top bar, these will not change.